All right, let's talk about BYU football with a guy that I think knows a lot about it, and that is Kelly Poppinga. He is an absolutely brilliant mind. I have always enjoyed my conversations with him, and he's got a unit this year, speaking of the edges unit, defensive ends and the like, for BYU, that are endeavoring to really bring the pass rush. And we heard Jay Hill after BYU's first scrimmage of the year saying that the pass rush is real good right now. Well, that screams that the young talent BYU has brought into this program to juice up that pass rush is starting to play. Now, there are some veterans in that unit, Bodie Schoonover. Who else am I thinking of? Logan Lutui. But there's a lot of young talent. Hunter Clegg. All the different names that come to mind. Ephraim Asiata and the like. They have a big opportunity early on this season to really get after the quarterback. And we talked about how soft this schedule is looking like for the BYU football program. Well, it's going to allow a guy like Bear Bachmeier to settle in. We should also let these young defensive ends to settle in as well. And as well, we'll also get to this in the conversation, a veteran-laden special teams unit. You have an All-American candidate at kicker in Will Farron. You got a very, very solid punter in Sam Vanderhaar. Well, what does a guy like Kelly Poppinga expect from all of these guys? He explains that right now, right here on Locked On Cougars.
Coach, I want to start off with your defensive end unit. Obviously, a lot of new bodies in this camp. How have things progressed so far, in your opinion?
Yeah, bunch of young guys that I think have come along really fast. Super excited about all of them. You got some experience with Logan Lutui and then a bunch of young guys. With Hunter Clegg right off his mission, I think he's really stood out to me. Orion Kafusi has worked his butt off and is right there in the mix. And then Ephraim Asiata, Tausili Akana, Nusi, Tamupeu. I feel like I got 6 or 7 deep right there. Kini Fonohema's done some good stuff, so it's going to be tough to dwindle it down to like a 2 or 3 deep to get ourselves ready for Portland State. But that's how you want it. That's what great programs have, is they have good depth. And this is the best depth I think I've ever dealt with here in a long, long time. So.
Has it been a concerted effort to build up that depth in this camp, though?
Yeah, no, it's been, a lot of reps have gone around. Like, it's not, nobody's getting overloaded with reps. I've spread it around pretty good, and the competition's been really tight. And so the scrimmage the other day, there were some guys that stood out, Hunter Clegg being one of them that did a really nice job, and then Tausili Akana did some really good stuff in the scrimmage as well. But before that, and even today, things have been pretty even. And, I keep challenging the guys that somebody's got to step forward and become the guy. So I'm anxious to see who's going to, start to take that step forward in front of everybody else to see who's going to be the dude.
You got an interesting mix of bodies, because you mentioned Tausili Akana, who's a little bit skinnier of a guy who came over from Texas. If you have a Bodie Schoonover, who Jay Hill and Kalani said can slot inside if need be and place in defensive tackle.
Yeah.
How do you balance all that?
Yeah, it's with Coach A. Coach A's done a good job. He's kind of taking the bigger ends right now, and I'm staying more with the more true edge rushers. It's a conservative effort between Coach A, myself, Coach Puha, Coach Chad Kaha. We got a bunch of D-line coaches that have done a lot of really good things in college football, and it's fun to have all 4 of us working together to kind of figure all that out.
What do you like about Tausili in particular?
Explosive, man. He's explosive. He's slippery when it comes to the pass rush. He's hard to get, your hand for an offensive tackle, hard to get their hands on him. But an exceptional get off, has a great toolbox of pass rush skills that make him kind of the next level type of guy. And so I'm just anxious to see what he can do.
What brought Logan back, in your opinion?
I think Logan just loves the game of football, and I think he had 1 more year of eligibility. He's not looking to go play in the NFL, but he's looking to get himself ready to be a doctor, and he had a couple more prerequisites to get into med school.
Okay.
And he had another year of eligibility, and man, he's been, for this young group, has been so good for them to learn the culture, learn the standard, learn how things are done, learn the defense. It's always better to have a veteran guy in there, and if we didn't have a veteran guy like Logan in that room right now, we would be extremely young. And so, most of those guys have never played a down of college football. And so for him to kind of let them know how it's going to be and what to prepare for, it's been, for me as a coach, he's like a second coach for me in there. And he's, in camp, has been our best edge player. So he's shown out as that veteran guy to be the best edge guy. So which you'd want to see from a leader like that.
You brought up Hunter Clegg a little bit earlier, coming home off of a mission. Is he capable of contributing right away?
Hunter will play this year. He's going to do some things, and I think he'll remind the Cougar fans of another guy that was here last year wearing 92. Now he's just wearing 90, but he there's times where you look at him and you're like, is that Tyler Batty out there? Okay. Very similar type of player, mindset very similar. He's very intentional, pays a ton of attention to detail. and he's fast, he's physical, and he loves the game. So he's going to be on the field a lot for us this season.
What about a guy like Ephraim Asiata? He's not the biggest guy out there, but he's absolutely ferocious.
Ephraim's done great. We're excited for him. He's in the 2 deep right now and working really hard. Similar position that Glasgow plays. And so we're just working with him. And Nusi, I would say, is right there. And then Micah Kafusi, he's been out with a little dinged shoulder, but he'll be back, and I think he'll be in the mix right there too as well. He looked really good the first couple days of camp before he got his shoulder a little dinged up, but he'll be back in a couple days. We're just deep, and for me, it helps me in special teams. I love it, and it's the same thing at the corner, at safety, same thing at linebacker. This is the deepest BYU team I've ever seen. So now, does that mean that we're going to be the best BYU team ever? No, there's a lot of stuff that we got to do to get ourselves ready for the season and prep. But at least we have the depth, I think, to compete in the Big 12. And if guys go down, I think we feel better than we've ever felt. If one of the starters go down, then one of the backups can step in there and just continue to roll as a defense.
I want to ask you about special teams real quick. You've got pretty much a loaded unit coming back outside of your All-American kick returner in Keelan. How confident are you feeling about your special teams?
Great. Yeah, I think we're ahead of schedule right now as far as just install goes, but the core is back. Like you said, Keelan, he was great for us last year, but I feel like we have Cody Hagan, Don McKenzie, Parker Kingston. We got some guys back there that I feel very, very good about at kick returner. Tiger Bachmeyer as well, experienced guy. And then punt returner, the same kind of guys. With you throw Chase Roberts in there, and Preston Rex has stepped up. And so there's a number of guys right now that we feel very confident as returners. And then that core nucleus is back. Really, the only guy in that core nucleus that we really missed from last year is Ethan Slade. He graduated. He was one of our best guys a year ago. But I feel like our safety group is very solid in the special teams realm, and our receivers are stepping up, and our running backs and our tight ends have looked great. So I just, Coach Gilbride's done a great job with that group. So I feel, when you have a deep team, then you should be pretty good on special teams. And so just got to keep working to exceed expectations. And it's not the expectations of the world, it's our expectations, right? Yeah. So we thought, we were good. My whole thing is good to great, right? Yeah. We were good, and we want to be great. And what do we need to do to be great? And it's the small little details and a little more execution here and there that's going to help us take that next step.
You mentioned Parker, both a punt and kick return. Is he capable of doing both, you feel like?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Parker's an explosive guy. Obviously, we saw those returns last year on punt return, but you look back to 2023, he had some good returns. One against SUU, a big return against Arkansas that almost went to the house. And so Parker's very capable, but I think there's some other guys there as well that I think are excited to get their chance and show what they can do with the ball in their hand back there.
Kicking's a fickle thing, but how much better can Will Farron get?
Will is very intentional, and he's very detailed, and every little thing that he can get better at, he will get better at. And I think having Garrison Grimes, an experienced long snapper, with him has been great. Having an experienced holder now in Sam. A year ago, Sam didn't even know how to hold a football. He was thinking about rugby and Australian rules and all that. And so we have just experience around him. And then we got most of our old line back in the protection core. And so we are, we're excited about that. And I know Will's been very level-headed. He stayed humble. He stayed hungry. He's worked as hard as anybody in the offseason on our whole entire team. And so just got to put everything together on the field, come Saturday here in a couple weeks. And so it's going to be, it's going to be fun to see these guys back out there playing in the game.
Talking about Sam not being able to hold, obviously he's adapted to American football quite well. Has he gotten better as a punter?
Oh yeah. I mean, Sam's hang times were a little below average last season, just being a little punchy with being a rugby guy. But in this offseason, he's really worked hard on getting his hang times up, and that's been a bigger deal for us, the emphasis on that. And then Fuller Schertz is our backup punter, who I think has exceptional talent, who's going to be a really good punter for us here in the future. But Sam's spot to lose right now, and I think he's made some big-time improvements.
Okay, last thing from me, you talk about going from good to great. What's it going to take?
It's just the really, in my opinion, it's the paying attention to detail and the small and simple things, right? And so being able to be better at the small and simple things, and getting in situations last year, I'm talking special teams now, we get a ball kicked into us at the Arizona State game that changes the game completely. But then also some plays offensively and defensively in that first half that just comes down to execution, right? So small and simple things that lead to better execution in that Arizona State game, in that Kansas game, and just learning from those, mistakes. And I think those are the best forms of learning, is being able to have something happen and then being able to learn from that rather than having those same mistakes repeat again. So we got to make sure that we've learned from the past and we're ready to be better here in the future. And we're excited. And the practices look great. So I'm excited to see our team continue to progress.
Kelly, thanks for the time.
All right, Jake. Thanks, buddy.
A big thank you once again to Kelly Poppinga for taking the time to join me here on Locked On Cougars. And as always, appreciate everybody involved with BYU Sports Information, Kenny Cox, Brett Pine, and the like for helping us get these interviews on air as always. But I really appreciate a guy like Kelly giving that insight he gives, because I think a lot of people, those two units, speaking of defensive ends / edges, whatever you want to call them, and the special teams units, well, they were critical cogs in the success that BYU had a season ago in 2024, and they figure to play a major role in BYU's hope for success in 2025. And I think that young unit, especially at defensive end, has a lot to prove, but also has a major opportunity on their hands.